Okay, fine. Uh, in the last class, we just went about this properties of electric field lines, right? So we shall have a recap of that electric field lines. I mean, the recap of last class. Okay. So as you know that the electric field lines always starts from positive and ends negative. Okay. So in case if there is a single charge, we say that it starts at positive and it ends at, we say that it's end at negative. I mean, sorry, it ends at infinity, we call. Okay. So next, it is said to be that the second point, in a charge free region, the electric field lines are continuous curves. Yeah. In a charge free region, as you know that, just you can see the figure D there. So in the charge free region, what happens when there is no other charges present? Okay. So the electric field lines will be a continuous curves, okay, without any breaks. So next is nothing but, as you know that in case if you have any electric field line, okay, in case if you want to find electric field at any particular point on that electric field line, so what happens? How we are going to find? We are just going to draw a tangent at that point, okay. So the tangent drawn at that point gives the direction of electric field at that particular point. Next is nothing but electric field lines are always normal, okay. So as we know that the electric field lines are always perpendicular to the surface. So next, electric field lines contract longitudinally on account of attraction. So as we know that when there is a electric field lines, okay, when you have when you have a same charges, okay, it gets ripples, okay, whereas when there is a unlike charges, so what happens? There will be a attraction. So next is nothing but, closer the field lines, stronger is the electric field. So as we know that if the electric field lines are very closer to each other, so what we say is in that particular region the electric field is strong. And the next important one is nothing but, we say that the two electric field lines of force never intersect. Okay. So what do you mean by that? As I said, you can see in the figure there at point P. Okay, at point P you have two different directions. Okay. So as you know that at one particular point there should be one particular direction. It cannot be two. Okay. So hence we say that no two electric field lines intersect each other. Okay. So that is the meaning of that uh, point. So next is nothing but, what do you mean by that electric dipole? Electric dipole is nothing but a system of 2 point charges of equal magnitude and opposite sign separated by a small distance is called an electric dipole. Okay. So you have two equal and opposite charges, okay, which is separated by a small distance, and you know that the distance between the two charges is nothing but, it is denoted by 2L. Okay. And the line joining the two charges is, we call that one as the axial line. Okay. And the perpendicular line drawn to the line which is joining the two charges, we call that one as the equatorial line. Okay. And you know that the net charge of an electric dipole is nothing but equal to 0, but as the electric field is not 0. So why do we say that the electric field is not 0 when the charges are the net charge of an dipole is 0? Because both the charges has been separated by a small distance. So hence the electric field of one doesn't cancel with the electric field of another. Okay. So hence we say that the net charge may be 0 but not the electric field line. Okay. So this is regarding the electric dipole. Coming to the dipole moment, as you know that how we are going to define the dipole moment? We are going to define the dipole moment as, we are going to take the charge of the magnitude of either charge, okay, multiplied by the distance between the two charges. Okay. So as you know that the dipole moment is denoted by vector p. So vector p is equal to q into 2l. Okay. And you know that the direction of dipole moment, electric dipole moment is always from negative charge to, it is directed towards the positive charge. Okay, make sure that the electric field lines, the direction of electric field lines is always from positive to negative. Okay, whereas the direction of dipole moment is always from negative to positive. Okay, and the SI unit of this dipole moment comes out to be coulomb meter. Okay, so next it's regarding the derivation of electric field at a point on the dipole axis. Okay, so as I said in the last class itself, this derivation will be asked for 5 marks in your examination. Okay, so uh, we also discussed about the figure, right, in the last class. So let me do one thing. I'll just explain the figure once again and we will move to the derivation part. Okay, so as you know that the two charges are separated by a small distance. We have taken an electric dipole which has been separated by a small distance. Okay, you can see in the figure there. uh, just a minute. Okay, fine. Coming to this part. Okay, so you have two charges, one is positive and one is negative, where the center of the um I mean the two charges are separated by a distance of 2l, and the center of that is denoted by the letter O. Okay, and you can see the vector P is directed from negative charge to the positive charge. Okay, so now what we need to do is we need to find the electric field at the point P here. Okay, you can see capital point P. Okay, capital P denotes the point where we need to find the electric field due to both the charges. Okay, so as you know that you have E1 and E2 there. Okay, E1 and E2 there, right? So you can see the direction of E1 and E2 are opposite to each other. Okay, so it is opposite to each other because here, as you know that when you take the positive charge, what happens? The electric field lines, the direction of electric field lines is always directed outward, right? So the electric field is directed radially outward and it is denoted by E1. So this is the electric field due to the charge Q, plus Q. Okay, next you can see the E2 is directed opposite to that of E1. Okay, because as you know that the electric field due to the negative charge will be always directed inward. Okay, so that is why the E2 will be directed in this direction. Okay, so E2 is nothing but it is the electric field due to the negative charge. Okay, so hence E1 and E2 are opposite to each other. So and next, if you see what is this R denotes here. Okay, R denotes the distance between the center of the dipole, center of the electric dipole, and the point where we need to find the electric field. So point P, the distance from point P to center of the electric dipole is nothing but denoted by small r. Okay, so this is regarding the explanation of the figure. Okay, hope it is clear, right? So next, moving to the mathematical part of this. So see you. Uh, okay, fine. See, I'll just read out that electric field at a point on the dipole axis. Consider an electric dipole of dipole moment, small vector P is equal to Q into 2L P cap. Okay, where Q is the magnitude of each charge, 2L is the distance between the charges, and vector P is the unit vector along the dipole axis from minus Q to plus Q. Okay, the meaning of the first two lines is nothing but, as you know that the dipole moment of the electric dipole is denoted by small vector p, that is nothing but equal to q into 2l, and that small p cap denotes the unit vector. Okay, as you know that unit vector is nothing but what, it gives the direction, right? So where q is nothing but the magnitude of each charge and 2l is the distance between them, obviously. So next, as you can see there, the p cap is a unit vector which is directed from minus q to plus q. Okay, So next, let vector P be a point at a distance r from the center O on the dipole on the side of charge plus q. Okay. So as you know that P is a point where we need to find the electric field. Okay. So that P is situated at a distance of r from the center of the dipole. Okay. So now the next line, the electric intensity at P due to charge plus q. Okay. So now we are going to find the electric field. So here we are going to find the electric field at point P due to the plus charge q. Okay. So here once again I'll make it clear. We are finding the electric field at point P due to the plus q as of now, due to charge, positive charge. Okay. So now see here, as we know that the mathematical form of electric field, how we are going to write, E is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon into q divided by r square. Okay. So that is the uh, mathematical equation of electric field. Say I'm going to write once again here in the simple form. The mathematical form of electric field, how we are going to write is E is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into q divided by r square, right? So this is the simple form of, that is the standard form of electric field mathematically, how we are going to write. So now the same thing should be applied to this derivation. Okay. So see here, just compare the equation 1 I have written here, the equation what I have written on the screen, and the electric field at the point P due to positive charge. Okay. Almost it is the same thing, but only the thing is, instead of r square we have retained there as r minus l whole square there. Say I'll come to that. See here, now the electric field at point P due to charge plus q is nothing but vector E1 is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into q divided by r minus l whole square p cap. Okay. Since the direction is along OP. See now I'll come to that figure here. So you can see there the electric field is directed from, okay, the electric field due to the positive charge, which is denoted by E1, is directed from which side to which side? It is directed from O to P there. Okay. So and you can see that point P is situated at a distance at r from the center of the dipole. Okay. And you can see here the positive charge are situated at the one end, right? So if 2l is the distance between the, okay, if 2l is the distance between the two charges, so what will be the distance from the center of the dipole to the one of the charge, that is from here to here, from the center of the dipole to the positive charge. So what should be the distance? Obviously it should be half, right? So the distance between the positive and negative charge is 2l. So now the distance between the center of the dipole to the positive charge should be nothing but equal to L, right? So obviously, how we are going to express the distance between the point P and Q now? Okay, how we are going to express? Obviously, it should be R minus L. Okay, so following, so the distance between the center of the dipole to the positive charge is nothing but it comes out to be L. So now the distance between point P and positive charge plus Q, that distance should be nothing but equal to, it should be equal to R minus L. Okay, right? So here that is what we are written here. So vector E1 is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into Q divided by R minus L whole square P cap. Okay. So next, the electric intensity at point P due to the charge minus Q is vector E2 is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into Q divided by R plus L whole square and minus of vector P, that is nothing but equal to minus of 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into q divided by r plus L whole square into p cap. So just we have taken the negative sign there. Okay. So since the direction is along PO, they have given. See, coming to this part, I am going to explain. See, as you know that the point P is here now. Okay, the point P is here, and when you are going to find the electric field at point P due to the negative charge minus Q. So as we know that the distance from the center of dipole to the P, okay, sorry, the center of dipole to the P, the distance is nothing but how much? It is nothing but R, right? So from here to the center of the dipole, the distance comes out to be R, right? So what is the distance from the center of the dipole to the negative charge? It should be L, right? Okay. So from the center of the dipole to the negative charge minus Q, the distance is nothing but it is L. So now we need to find the electric field at point P due to the negative charge. So obviously the distance should be nothing but equal to R plus L, right? That is what we have written. Okay. So here that is what has been written here. So E2 is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into Q divided by R plus L whole square into minus P cap. Okay. Why is that minus P cap here? So here the E2 is directed from where to where? The E2 is directed from minus Q to sorry, the E2 is directed from plus Q to minus Q, right? The direction of E2 is directed from plus Q to minus Q. What is the direction of dipole moment? That is the direction of electric dipole. It is from negative charge to positive charge. Okay. So hence it is nothing but it is opposite to that of the direction of electric field. E2 is nothing but opposite to that of the direction of the electric dipole. Okay. So electric field is directed from, in this case the E2 is directed from plus Q to minus Q, whereas the direction of electric dipole is from minus Q to plus Q. So hence we have expressed that in terms of minus P here. Okay. So E2 and the direction of E2 and the direction of dipole, electric dipole, is opposite to each other. That is the meaning of that. That is why we have denoted that minus P cap. Okay. So this is regarding the electric field due to the negative charge. Okay. Hope it is followed, right? So E1 and E2. So next we need to find the resultant electric intensity at P. Okay. In order to find the resultant electric intensity at P, what we need to do? We need to sum it. E1 and E2 should be added. Okay. So by adding that, we are going to write that is the net electric intensity vector E is equal to vector E1 plus vector E2. Okay. So let us substitute the values of E1 and E2 here. So when you substitute the values of E1, it comes out to be 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into Q divided by R minus L whole square P cap minus of 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into Q divided by R plus L whole square into P cap. As you know that since the electric field at the point P due to the negative charge is nothing but it is a minus. Okay. Minus of 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught. So it becomes, in this case it becomes negative here. Okay. So that is nothing but since the electric field, the resultant electric field is nothing but what? E is equal to E1 plus E2. Okay. So instead of plus, what happens here? It becomes negative itself. So next, as we know that in the both the cases, Q and 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught is common there, right? You can see Q and 4 pi by epsilon naught is common there. So hence we take out common there, q divided by 4 pi epsilon naught into 1 divided by r minus l whole square minus of 1 divided by r plus l whole square. Okay. So next what we are going to do is we are going to simplify this. Okay, how we are going to simplify this? So see here, r plus, so the next steps comes out to be, just I'll make it simple. See here, it comes out to be, we're taking the q common there, q divided by 4 pi epsilon not common there, comes out to be r plus l whole square minus of r minus l whole square divided by, it comes out to be r square minus l whole square. Okay, so this is the thing comes out to be. So when you multiply that, in the denominator you have r minus l whole square and r plus l whole square. Okay, if you simplify that, you are going to get r square minus l square whole square. Next, you have in the numerator r plus l whole square minus of r minus l whole square. So both are in the form of what? In which form? So r plus l whole square is in the form of a plus b whole square, and r minus l whole square comes out to be in the form of a minus b whole square. So just expand it in the form of a plus b whole square, a square plus b square plus 2ab, right? So if we express that, this r plus l whole square in the form of a plus b whole square, it comes out to be r square plus l square plus 2rl. Okay, so next you have a negative sign. So what happens in the case of this r minus l whole square, when you express that in the form of a minus b whole square, it comes out to be r square plus l square minus 2ab. Okay, so you have a negative sign here. Okay, you have a negative sign here. When you multiply that negative sign to this side, so what happens? It comes out to be minus r square minus l square plus 2rl. Okay, so what happens? This minus r square plus r square and the minus r square get cancelled, and plus l square and minus l square get cancelled. Only the left out thing is 2rl and 2rl. So hence when you add it, you are going to get that as, see here, this step here, q divided by 4 pi epsilon naught into 4 rl or lr divided by r square minus l square whole square into p cap. So next, so the next step can be written as here, as you know that 1 divided by 4 pi epsilon naught into 2rp divided by r square minus a square to the whole square into p cap. So how did we replace that q? Where about what about that q and 4l are there? What happened to that? How come in the next step we are written as we have missed that q, we have missed that 4, they have missed that l there, we have written 2rp there? How it is possible? Anyone? Any guesses? Yes, students, any guesses? Gokul, by taking common, what you are going to take common there? Already we have taken a q common there, right? In the next step, where did that q went? So compare this step and that. So here this step and this step here. In this step you have q, right, in the numerator, and you have 4l in the numerator. But in this case, coming to this case here, what about that q there? Where did that q went? What about that 4? What about that l? And how did that 2 and p came here suddenly from last step to here? Hitesh, you're good. It is nothing but p is equal to q into l. So see here, that 4, here I'm going to write here itself 4rl, right? So this can be written as 2 into 2 L into R, right? One and the same, 2 into 2 LR. So we have Q common there, right? I mean Q we have there, one of the Q you have here in this step. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to write Q into 2 Q into 2L, right? So Q into 2L is nothing but what? It is nothing but P, right? Dipole moment. So one of the two and Q. Okay. So see here, sorry, I just made a mistake. This 2L, okay, this 2L and Q comes out to be, it is replaced by small p. And which is the left out term here? It is left out term is nothing but this 2 and R here. Okay. So that is why in this step it has comes out to be, it has come 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into 2rp divided by r square minus a square to the power whole square into p cap. Okay, so that is the thing there. Yes, and one more thing here, in the case of denominator there, okay, there is a small mistake. Instead of L, it has been given a square there. Okay, just make a small correction there. So it should be a L square here itself, here in this step, a small mistake. So instead of you can see in the previous step it is L r square minus L square whole square, right? The same thing should be there. A small mistake, instead of L it has been a there. Okay, just make a small correction there. So hence the next step comes out to be 1 by 4 pi epsilon into 2 rp divided by r square minus L square whole square p cap. So next step is nothing but 1 by 4 pi epsilon into 2r vector p divided by r square minus L square whole square. Okay, so just we have expressed in terms of this thing there. Okay, see, compared to this step and this, it is little bit difficult to explain the mathematical form here. Okay, so here, see here what happens, you can see in the next step, in this step you have small p on the numerator and you have a p cap, right? But in this step, in the next step, what happens, you have vector p. Okay, so as you know that whenever we express a vector, you have magnitude and direction, right? So we are going to express the magnitude as simple p and the direction is nothing but p cap, right? So in this step you can see, in this step you can see that you have p and p cap, right? You have p and p cap, right? That is nothing but it can be replaced by vector p. Okay, so that is what we have done in this case here. See, in this case you don't have p cap there. Okay, so hence this p into p cap has been replaced by p vector there. Okay, so in the next case comes out to be vector e is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into 2r vector p cap divided by r square minus, it should be L square whole square. Okay, that is nothing but equation 1 we call. Okay, so next we have a small case, that is nothing but what happens at the large distances. Okay, what happens when the distance is very large? Which distance is very large if you ask? That is nothing but if r is very large compared to L. So just go through the figure. R is what? It is the distance from the center of the dipole to the point where we need to find the electric field, and L is the distance from center of the dipole to the any one of the charge. Okay, either from center to the plus q or from center to minus q, that is the distance L we call. So if r is very large compared to the L, so what happens, we can neglect L square in the denominator. Okay, as I said that a square in the denominator, it should be L square. Okay, just a small correction, you make it. Okay, uh, since in the note it is a printing mistake, instead of L it has been written a there, so it should be L here. Okay, so now when r is very large compared to L, what happens, you can neglect L square in the denominator. So if you neglect that L square in the denominator, the left out thing will be vector E is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon into 2p vector divided by r cube. When you neglect that L square, what happens? It in the denominator, the left out thing is r square to the power of whole square. So when you multiply the square, you're going to get as r to the power 4, right? So that r to the power of 4 and 1 r you have in the numerator. So one r get cancels. The left out thing is r cube. So hence the electric field comes out to be vector E is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into 2p vector divided by r cube. So hence this is the expression for the electric field at the axial of the dipole. Okay. So this is regarding the derivation, and as I said, this is for a 5 marks they are going to ask. Okay. So I'll just do one thing. I'll just give you 5 minutes itself. Take a time of 5 minutes itself. Go through every step. First, go through the figure. Just go through each and every step. So please let me know in case if you have any doubts. Okay, because since I'm stressing this, because this question will be for a 5 marks. Okay. So please go through everyone, go through about this derivation. Please, in case if you have any doubt, please let me know. Okay. So everyone go through. Yes, in case if you have any doubts, you can ask. Okay, fine. Do one thing. So after the class, please have a practice of this. Make a practice of this derivation. Okay. So starting from the explanations, first write down the figure. Next write down the explanation of that figure. Next, mathematically you need to derive that. Okay. Till the equation 2. Okay. Till equation 2 you need to write down. Okay. So again I'm stressing this. So this question is for 5 marks. Please everyone make a practice of this derivation. Okay. So again next you have the electric field at a point on the equatorial line. So even this question is for 5 marks. Okay. Either axial line will be asked or the equatorial line. In this two, any one will be asked for 5 marks. Okay. So hence both the derivations, this axial line and the equatorial line is very very important. Okay. So yes, you have doubt in this axial line, please let me know. Okay, Srujan, no sir. What about others? Yes, Hafiz. What about Jose and Jose? Okay, what about Hemant? Hemant, Meenakshi, Meghana, yes, Pratik, Srijit, Sachin. Okay, fine. So, uh, so have a practice of this derivation. Okay. So in the next class we will discuss about that electric field at a point on the equatorial line. Okay. So only in case if you have understood about this axial line, it will be very very easy to you people to understand this electric field at a point on the equatorial line. So please do have a practice of this derivation what we have done today. Okay. So in the next class we will discuss about this equatorial line. Okay. So with this thing I'm going to conclude today's class. Okay. Thank you, students.